This is the Bush Whisperer coming at you from the beautiful Penguin Sanctuary, Boulders Beach, Cape Town, South Africa. I'm here at Simonstown, and I'm enjoying the beauty and the bird song and the wave song and the light drizzle upon my face. I can't call it drizzle. There's some moisture, condensation. It's like low-lying clouds. It's beautiful. Makes my hair look good. So, I've come to talk to you today about group mind. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to have to take it easy because my last podcast went up to like 23 minutes. I didn't mean to do that. I've got to rein myself in and try and keep them short for you. Do leave some comments for me. You can smash the like button so like. Share this video so it gets around. Group mind. What are we talking about when we're talking about group mind? We're going to start with that chain of being conversation again. It's something that keeps coming up. It will keep coming up because it's fundamental to the state of reality. So the chain of being is a group of beings that facilitate the consciousness field in order to facilitate, through a chain of beings reflecting these chain of beings, the manifestational field of reality. We speak about it often in terms of God forms that mated to have children, and their children mated to have children, and so on and so on and so on. This metaphor is speaking of this reality. It's a little bit more than a metaphor, in a sense, if you want to get right down to it, because the nature of reality is conscious, intelligent, alive, and it's created out of various aspects of itself, which are beings. And these aspects become greater beings that manifest through us. Go and watch the video. You'll enjoy it, I hope. So, group mind. And now when I'm speaking about group mind, I'm specifically speaking in terms of humans, but it doesn't end there. Shaman understand that the group mind extends beyond the groups of human minds into the groups that contain within it the species of life, of all the animal groups, of all the plants, of all the insects, of all the microbes, of all aspects of beings that walk upon this earth. All the minds are bound in a single stream of consciousness. And as humans, we are able to access the apex of the stream of consciousness, and thus be able to allow any of the aspects of the group mind to speak through us. We call this the guides. It's fundamental to the shamanic healing and the principles exercised by the shaman, and it's fundamental to understanding the shamanic path. From the shamanic path have come all the other occult traditions, the wisdom traditions, the spiritual sciences, and so on. So when we think about group mind, we think about how when you're in a group you feel a bit different. Have you noticed that? Like, there's a pressure on your mind to behave in a certain way. There's a pressure in your mind to do things that you might not ordinarily feel. That is the presence of the group mind. So when you're in a group of people, start becoming aware of this. That's the time you should be working with this energy. Concentrate deeply on what peer pressure is and how it works. Concentrate deeply on your emotional field and how you feel impulses. Often people feel self-conscious when they feel the presence of the group mind. This is why people don't like speaking publicly. It's why a lot of people won't stand on the stage and talk, or stand in front of a camera and broadcast their face to the world. Because a lot of people don't feel comfortable interacting and engaging with the group mind. Though from a shamanic perspective it's fundamental to the work. For one needs to be able to engage within oneself to access the deeper aspects of the group mind in order to facilitate the profound realizations necessary of the dream time in order to be able to do the work. So this group mind is always active. When you're with your loved ones, there's a small group mind between yourself and your loved ones, and yourself and your friends. And this group mind expands outwards to encompass everybody, like layers of an onion, until all of humanity is expressed through a single continuity of being, consciousness, the group mind. Sorry, I stopped to have a conversation with one of the nature conservationists. So this group mind is an expression from within, and the animal forms of consciousness are part of the base structures, and these are supported upon the insect forms of consciousness, the higher forms of consciousness. And these are supported upon the plant forms of consciousness. As a shaman, obviously, I've learned to connect with all of these forms of consciousness because it's part of the training. So if you want to really explore the group mind, go into nature and explore it. Go to an anthill. Observe the way ants operate with a group mind and start interacting with a group of ants. And observe the way they are strategic, that there is a governing consciousness, a mind, moving all of the little vessels. And then start to interact with that mind. Birds click into group consciousness very fast. Through their individual selves, they are very connected. Once again, we spoke about the element of air in another video. And it's better to follow these sequentially from the beginning to the end, obviously. That way you'll be able to put it into perspective. And of course, plants and trees hold a different state of consciousness. The frequency of thoughts experienced by trees are very, very, very low. One's mind needs to be very, very centered. One's heart needs to be beating very, very, very slowly. One's thoughts need to be moving like a slow trickle in order for one to be able to find the rest within and the patience to be able to follow the thoughts of plants and trees. If I can call that thoughts. It's more like a stream of thought that connects plants to other plants. They have a group mind. They have their own form of telepathy. They do communicate largely through the soil, chemically transmitting the thoughts. Though the thoughts are part of the construct of the human consciousness as well. We hold and express all the forms of life through our DNA. Our DNA is resonating, so it is in tune with all the forms of life on Earth. This is what is meant by the animals were all named by Adam in the biblical story. So bear in mind that the group mind is fundamental. Understanding the group mind is fundamental to developing one's true potential and being able to liberate one's potentials. This has got a lot to do with observation of the self and realizing that what we think we are is a conglomeration of beings, a conglomeration of minds, a conglomeration of cells, a conglomeration of conglomerations that conglomerate conglomerations in the conglomeration of being. So think of yourself as a corporation. And so we reflect this inner state in the world through corporations. Unfortunately, the corporations have become less than sanitary. We need to sanitize our world and sanitize the way in which corporations are allowed to operate. Though the reason they are allowed to operate the way they are is because of the fundamental structure of being. This is why those that are the lords of our world in this world, if I can use that term, and I've got to be careful what I say now, word watching episodes, because people get into trouble for saying these things. YouTube channels end up under attack. It's very important to realize that the connectivity and the cohesive aspect of consciousness is at the core of all of this. And love is that cohesive aspect of consciousness. Love is the cohesion between all of these minds. Love is the cohesion between all of the aspects of the self. Love is a cohesion between all things. And so we start to speak of what the Christians call Christ. The ancient Greeks called the Christos, anointed oil that moves up and down the spine in order to reawaken full neurological potential and possibilities. The Kundalini, as described in the Vedic texts, that one experiences as one goes into deeper states of concentration and meditation. These vibrational frequencies locked up in the chakras, as the hormonal potential reaches a critical point that it's able to shift its hormonal balances and states, this creates a different resonance of thinking. So the pineal gland is thus attuned by the pituitary gland in this way. And so the electrical pineal gland activity changes the frequency of the central nervous system and affects the way in which thoughts are moving through the consciousness and the brain, the mind as we call it. So all of these things are finely tuned, part of a greater whole, part of a greater structure, part of the resonant field and the frequencies of being. It's fundamental to understand this, to get a grip, to bring it into perspective. For this is the operation of the group mind that you wish to see. And if you're interested in developing the group mind, you're going to be working through the sphere of the heart. For the heart is the polarizing aspect between all things. It's what keeps all things bound in the proverbial dance of life. Like and share this video so that other people get access to it. And realize that this heart, which is the binding facilitator of all things, is the agent of love. And so love moves through the heart. Love can most easily be seen and accessed through the heart, though it is the presence of all. We can actually consider that Kundalini as we know it is actually essentially the substance of love, if you really want to get right down to it. And so is Christos. And so we speak of Christos being the Christ, a reflection of the first eon. In the first eon, so you might notice I'm dropping in a few little words here and there from different traditions. These are things for you to go and Google and look them up and see what you can find about them. Who are the eons? What are the eons? Who's the first eon? Who is Deus Pitar in the Vedic tradition? I'm giving you a little bit of homework, so to speak, for those of you that are interested in really following this to the deeper levels. I hope you have an absolutely gorgeous day. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the presence of the group mind. Follow your sense of self-consciousness, especially when you feel nervous. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the videos. Keep it real, especially when you feel that self-conscious energy and that self-conscious presence. That's the time you need to find the deep core of yourself and express the integrity of your being. Be authentic. The more authentic you become, the more integrous you become, the more honest you become with yourself, the more you'll be able to access and understand and become aware of the group mind's processes working through your consciousness. And you will realize that your consciousness is a group mind. As are all the groups of minds, they form pyramids of pyramids of pyramids of pyramids of pyramids of minds, made of yet smaller ones that are made of yet smaller ones that are made of yet smaller. And so the fractal of being is an endless loop of time. And the endless loop of time is a field of consciousness through which we find the sublime expressed here and now. This is the Bush Whisperer sharing a few words of wisdom with you. I hope you have an absolutely gorgeous day. Keep it real, keep it sweet. Aum Shanti.